My name is Mark Darwin and I'm editor of a trade and technical magazine. I got my first motorbike when I was about 20, which was 1980. I got my original jacket from a place in Burnley. It's a Lewis Leathers Monza cross zip for supposedly keeping you warmer. It was at the time about £110, which was quite a sizable amount. As a student, I was on about 300 a term of grant, so it was about a third of my grant. These days, the Lewis Leathers is quite a collectible jacket, especially the Avia kit, and it's probably worth about £250, £300, maybe a bit more. Fashion at the time of the late 70s was it was coming off the back of hippies in the late 60s, early 70s, through to the mods, sort of mid 70s, and then ska and punk had just started, and that was about 1976, 77. I was more into the retro hippie, so it was flares and Jesus sandals, which are basically suede boots, t-shirts, Wrangler jackets, that sort of thing, long hair. Fashion-wise, from the leather jacket, it was although punks wore leather jackets with all sort of pins and chains, it tended to be not the bike jackets. The Lewis Leathers jacket was basically a leather jacket. There was no other a biking jacket. There was no other sort of. It wasn't fashionable to wear bike jackets unless you wore a bike, unless you rode a bike. I suppose the best memory of the bike is just being able to go where you want. We used to ride up to the Lake District quite a lot, and I used to ride across to see my girlfriend, now wife, at Hull University. So I was riding from Liverpool over the Pennines. On a nice day, it was still cold and nice, and on an unpleasant day, it was snowing and minus temperatures. But it was still good fun. The worst memory, I suppose, was when I had an accident on the bike, and I was riding down a road doing about 30 miles an hour right of way, and a car came straight across a junction without stopping. I hit the car, fortunately, just on the front wheel, took off over the handlebars, and went through his windscreen and got dumped at right angles to the way I was travelling, about 30 yards down the other road. Fortunately, I didn't break anything, but I sort of damaged the ligaments in the knee, and was off work for about 6 weeks. But at the same time, we knew a few people who had Harleys, and she liked the look of the Harley, so we ended up going for a Harley Road King Classic. Had to be big enough for touring, so I had a big seat, two big passenger seats, big passenger seat, and panniers, screen, and it was a full sort of full chrome, 3 headlamps at the front, and white wall tyres, so quite a nice looking bike. The jacket, I think over in the UK, should have been about £600, but I think I paid about 300. One, I found a sale in the States, and two, it was a lot cheaper. So that was a good way of doing it. If you ride with all the gear, so you need helmet, gloves, jacket, leather trousers, boots, we're probably looking at about £1,000 for a reasonable set of Harley gear or equivalent. I think they still make Lewis leather jackets, and they're probably about £400, £500, £600 these days now. So a good jacket is not cheap, whoever you get it from. I might buy another bike. They are dangerous. I mean, I know from having quite a serious accident in the first place. But yeah, I'd probably buy another one. Whether it would be a Harley or not, I don't know. It might be another Triumph, might be a BMW GS 1200, which is the Ewan McGregor around the world bike. Harleys aren't the best bikes, but they've got a lot of character